Good day, fellow investors. This weekend I enjoyed the Netflix series on Bernie Madoff, and in this video I want to give my takeaways, my conclusions, and things that are good to keep in mind when it comes to investing. Wall Street is Wall Street, nobody's going to have your back, so you need to know your stuff, you need to know your money, and I'll share also a very funny story. Let's start with number one. Wall Street will never learn, or better to say, Wall Street knows it all too well to learn. They don't want to learn. It's not their incentive to learn, because their incentive is to make money no matter what. And as they said in the documentary, Netflix, yes, Netflix is for profit, but also Wall Street is a for-profit organization. And we discussed this in depth when we summarized The Margin of Safety by Seth Klarman. Chapter 2 discusses how Wall Street works against you. Everything is there, everything that even happened with Madoff, with everybody else later. And the funny thing is that the book was written in the 1990s, 1989. So everything is known, but Wall Street doesn't want to learn. Therefore, it is clear that not even the Securities Exchange Commission will have your back, because they don't have the right incentive. And then again, as we'll see later in the video, too much protection is also not good. Nobody wants it. So the key solution when it comes to investing is to know yourself, know your money, know your investments, and never expect that somebody will bail you out. Of course, if you're not an investment banker, but that's a low blow joke, okay. And this is a very funny story that an older Italian lady shared with me, discussing how banks don't pay anything now. And she said how in the 1990s in Italy, she would bring 100 to the bank and they immediately gave her back 11. Immediately, not after a year, not after a few months, immediately. Of course, she didn't get that her investment was actually 89, and that the interest rate was then at first 12% and then later over the years likely 11% or something like that. So that the rate was much higher, but she felt good by getting the 11 back immediately. Of course, this is Italian scammers, but that's something that will always work with finance, and we have seen it so much and are seeing the financial pain now with specs, with crypto miners. Who remembers still how many of you lost money on marijuana stocks, biotech, forex a little bit earlier? And I snipped this from the documentary, and here we have, after the financial crisis, Obama saying how the most significant contributors to economic downturn was the unraveling of major financial institutions and the lack of adequate regulatory structures, and they want to do that to prevent future abuse and excess. Every slide here of all the four is so much BS that you can't even imagine it. Therefore, that's also the main message of the video that I want to transmit. Yes, there is Wall Street, there is Bernie Madoff, but there is also the politicians, the system. Everything is made in a way that it's easy to blame someone afterwards, but nobody wants to spoil the party while things are good. And the fact is, as I said, I see so much financial pain. And the biggest pain, the biggest crimes are actually made now, because despite the regulation, central banks are now pushing the abuse and excess. Let's discuss crime number one that's going on now. And let's just look at the government. The government in Europe, in the US, they are happy that they will spend approximately 5% more than what they make forever. They will do that because they can simply print the money they need, and that is then crime number two. that nobody cares. This is the Fed's balance sheet. So financial crisis, let's triple it. Then we had another issue, let's quadruple it. Then the pandemic came, okay, let's double it again. And then let's forecast, let's assume that there will never ever again be any crisis. Never ever again there will be any crisis. I have one guarantee that I can give you now, and that's perhaps the only guarantee you can have in finance, is that in the future there will be mumbo jumbo, and there will be even more mumbo jumbo than we have had in the past, because that is how the system is made. They push the abuse and excess as far as it goes, and they just bring it a step higher. From Ponzi schemes to investment bankers bailing out everybody, even the JP Morgans, and then to the government and central banks, until you have nothing to push higher to. And the sad thing is that what you never had, you will never know you lost. This is sad because future generations will have to pay for the debt, or with higher inflation for decades and cheaper currency, or by really paying the debts from the previous generations from these bailouts. And they say we will prevent abuse and excess. I just went to Zillow, I went to Miami, and I just scroll here. They want to prevent excess and everything. This is a house for 43 million. And if you just look here, 29, 30, 29, 49, 49, 20, 10, this is something cheap. Just 10 million, 5.9. Okay, but 14, 18, 22, 16. Can this be real? $30 million for a house, Palm Avenue, Miami Beach, with a big boat in front. And if this is not abuse and excess, I don't know what is. And the sad criminal thing is that these guys are the one bails out. These people are the one getting the money from the Fed. They are the biggest beneficiaries. They are the rich get richer. And that is the reality of life. Now, you might get angry, you might get whatever, frustrated, but my message is, again, completely opposite. That's life. That's the world we are living in. Okay, can we change it? Unlikely, because that is nothing new. That's just human nature. Has been like that, will forever be like that, because people get high on that abuse and excess. Do I have to mention crypto? Do I have to mention, what was that, meme stocks or whatever? That's simply human nature at whatever level. So what can we do about it? As I said, know our finances and be happy. You might be surprised. Yes, be happy. You are here. You are now. You have your own mind. You can know, learn, live your life, and then accept it as a bonus. You are alive. One out of billions that your father produced that didn't make it. And therefore, we have to simply be happy, do our best, and know the environment we are living in, not to get sucked in the environment. Or as Warren Buffett says, if you want to make it on Wall Street, learn how to sell, not how to be a great analyst. So it's up to you. You can maybe take advantage of it if that fits you, like Bernie Madoff did, like all the other investment bankers do on Wall Street, or you just do well for yourself. It's a very tricky topic, but I think that we can live in it, navigate it, and simply do our best. Let me know in the comments what is your takeoff from the series, from the situation, and I'll see you in the next video.